ওয়েলকাম টু দিশার এক্সাম গাইড। প্রিয় একাদশ শ্রেণীর শিক্ষার্থী বন্ধুরা, তোমাদের জন্য রয়েছে ক্লাস 11-এর ফাইনাল লাস্ট মিনিট সাজেশান ইংরেজি বিষয়ের উত্তরসহ প্রশ্ন উত্তর। বন্ধুরা, প্রোস এবং পোয়েম থেকে 99% কমন, অর্থাৎ 99% কমন উত্তরসহ সাজেশান তোমাদের দেখে নিতেই হবে। তাহলে দেরি না করে দেখে নাও। প্রথমে দেখো, লীলাস ফ্রেন্ড থেকে প্রথম প্রশ্ন। ইন অ্যানি কেস উই কুডন্ট হ্যাভ kept a criminal like him in the house. Who is the speaker? Who is the criminal referred to here? What led the speaker to such a comment? আচ্ছা, তারপর দেখে নাও উত্তর। দ্য স্পিকার ইজ মিস্টার শিবশঙ্কর। হেয়ার দ্য ক্রিমিনাল ইজ রিফার টু সিদ্ধা। তাহলে এখানে বক্তা হলেন কে? শিবশঙ্কর। এবং এখানে ক্রিমিনাল হিসেবে উল্লেখ করা হয়েছে সিদ্ধাকে। এবার তৃতীয় অংশের উত্তর দেখো। মিস্টার শিবশঙ্কর মিন্স হেয়ার সিদ্ধা হুম হি হ্যাজ অ্যাপয়েন্টেড অ্যাজ এ ডোমেস্টিক সার্ভেন্ট আফটার দ্য লস অফ লীলাস গোল্ড চেন দ্যাট that very boy is suspected as a thief and handed over the police to the police. Even when the chain is found, Leela's parents stick to their old stand that Siddha is a confirmed criminal. The moral of the story comes out here. The focus is here on the class difference in a materialistic society, the master and the servant. Though it was proved that Siddha did not steal Leela's gold chain, Mr. Shiv Shankar did not repent Siddha's police custody. The poor thus are not given any chance to line properly and honorably by the rich. 2 নম্বর প্রশ্ন। হাউ ওয়াজ দ্য টিচিং অ্যান্ড লার্নিং প্রসিডিওর কন্টিনিউড বিটুইন লীলা অ্যান্ড সিদ্ধা ইন দ্য স্টোরি লীলাস ফ্রেন্ড? অর এই প্রশ্নটা অথবা দেখো এভাবেও হতে পারে, হাউ ডিড লীলা ট্রাই টু মেক সিদ্ধা রাইট, হোয়াট ওয়াজ দ্য রেজাল্ট? দেখো, লীলা কীভাবে সিদ্ধাকে লেখা শেখানোর চেষ্টা করেছিল এবং তার ফলাফল কী হয়েছিল। অ্যান্সার দেখে নাও। ইন দ্য শর্ট স্টোরি অফ আর কে নারায়ণ, লীলাস ফ্রেন্ড, অ্যাট ডাস্ক দ্য লিটল গার্ল Leela held a class for Siddha. Playing the role of teacher gave her great joy. She made him squat on the floor with a pencil between his fingers and a catalogue in front of him. She had another pencil and a catalogue and commanded him to write or copy whatever she wrote in the pages of her catalogue. Siddha did not able to imitate properly even the letter B and simply drawn picture of crow, and was rebuked by her. She pitied him and redoubled her efforts to teach him and made him sit till his stiff, inflexible wrist cracked. The good flow and adept at controlling the moon was utterly incapable of flying the pencil, so he sought relief by saying that her mother was calling her for dinner and the school hour would end. Question number 3. Siddha, come and play. Who is the speaker? What would Siddha do when he heard this call? What kind of games did the speaker play? দেখো, সিদ্ধা এসো এবং খেলো উক্তিটি কার? সিদ্ধা এই ধরনের ডাক শুনে কী করতো? বক্তা কোন ধরনের খেলা খেলতো? অ্যান্সার দেখে নাও। The little daughter of Mr. Shiv Shankar, Leela is speaker of the line, Siddha, come and play. দ্বিতীয় অংশের উত্তর দেখে নাও। Hearing Leela's call, Siddha had a drop any work he might be doing and ran to her as she would in the front garden with the red ball in her hand. তৃতীয় অংশের উত্তর। The speaker played the game of throwing ball with Siddha. Leela flung the ball to Siddha and the latter flung it back to her. Then she asked him to throw the ball in sky and Siddha, clutching the ball, closing his eyes for a second, threw it up. When the ball returned back to them, Siddha would say to her to find traces of moon as it touched the moon. Leela tried to see it through the little gap of the tidy covered ball quickly. Shidda told her that her knew the moon and it would follow him where he would go. He could touch the moon standing on the coconut tree. This kind of games both used to play and made Leela supremely happy with the company. এটাও কিন্তু অত্যন্ত গুরুত্বপূর্ণ দেখো এখানে দিস কাইন্ড অফ গেমস বোথ ইউজ টু প্লে অ্যান্ড মেড লীলা সুপ্রিমলি হ্যাপি উইথ দ্য কোম্পানি তাহলে কোন ঘটনা লীলাকে সুপ্রিমলি হ্যাপি দিত মানে অত্যন্ত সর্বোচ্চ পরিমাণে খুশি করত সেটাও কিন্তু এই প্রশ্ন এই উত্তরটা কিন্তু ওই প্রশ্নের ক্ষেত্রেও লেখা যাবে এবার দেখে নাও কর্মা থেকে যেগুলো পড়তে হবে এক জাস্টিফাই দ্য টাইটেল অফ দ্য স্টোরি কর্মা বাই খুশবন্ত সিং অর হোয়াই ডু ইউ থিঙ্ক দ্য স্টোরি ইজ এন্টাইটেলড কর্মা তাহলে কর্মগল্পের শিরোনামের যথাযথ আলোচনা করো অ্যান্সার দেখে নাও Khushbant Singh, a short story Karma focuses on a moral judgment of karma that anyone does will get the result of his bahar deeds accordingly. Sir Mohanlal thought himself disguised, efficient, handsome, and proficiency in English. It was become of his Oxford background. He follows the British etiquette and culture. He reads the Times where Balliol tie sweet from Savili raw and uses the aroma of UD College. He was cynical and critical about his own country and countrymen, so he does not like his native traditional fatty talkative wife. Even he does not like to travel in a same compartment of the same train. To him, everything of English is highly valuable in respect of India's. His blind regard for British causes his great humiliation. He was thrown out of the first class compartment by British soldiers, Bill and Jim, without any cause. So Sir Mohanlal got the taste of his karma of cynicism. Hence the title of the short story apt and justified. Give a brief description of the appearance of Lady Lal. Lady Lal's চেহারা সংক্ষিপ্ত বর্ণনা দাও Lasmi is the second important character in the short story Karma. She's the wife of Sir Mohanlal, who is a vizier and a barrister, but she lives a simple life. She is aged around 45. She is short and fatty in appearance. She wears a dirty white sari with a red border. She's fond of a little gossip, but she has no on talk to at home. She's much fond of chewing bitter lips. She's not educated like her husband. She's very simple hearted. She was no vanity also. She embraces the coolie as her brother. She has no identity crisis like her husband. Her husband does not like native Indian, but she has no complaint against her husband. She sees him as her master. In word, Lasmi is the spokesperson of ordinary Indian. 3 নম্বর প্রশ্ন দেখে নাও The mirror smiled back at Sir Mohan. Which mirror is referred to here? How was the mirror? What was Sir Mohan's reaction when the mirror smiled back? আয়নাটি স্যার মোহনের হাসি ফিরিয়ে দিল কোন আয়নার কথা বলা হয়েছে আয়নাটি কেমন ছিল যখন আয়নাটি হাসি ফিরিয়ে দিল তখন স্যার মোহনের কি প্রতিক্রিয়া ছিল অ্যান্সার The mirror of the first class waiting room of the railway station in the story Karma is referred to here. The mirror is worn out and partly broken. Sir Mohanlal looked at himself in the mirror and commented that the mirror was very much like everything of the country, inefficient, dirty, indifferent. Hearing this, the mirror smiled back at Sir Mohan. The mirror said that Sir Mohan was a bit all right. He was distinguished, efficient, even handsome. All kind of talcum powder, scented soap, high quality dresses, etc. All were only for him. The miserable condition of the mirror was similar to that of Indians. All these were aptly reflected in Sir Mohan's body language. এবার আমরা জিমি ভ্যালেন্টাইন থেকে যে প্রশ্নগুলো পড়ব অর্থাৎ তোমাদের পড়ে নিতে হবে দেখো হু ইজ র্যালফ ডি স্পেন্সার হোয়াট ইজ ফোনিক্স হোয়াই হ্যাজ দ্য কম্প্যারিজন বিন মেড র্যালফ ডি স্পেন্সারকে ফিনিক্স কি র্যালফ ডি স্পেন্সারকে ফিনিক্স পাখির সাথে কেন তুলনা করা হয়েছে অ্যান্সার দেখে নাও Ralph D. Spencer is new identity of Jimmy Valentine in Elmore. Jimmy Valentine was a criminal who wanted to walk away freely in Elmore, changed his identity as Ralph D. Spencer. দ্বিতীয় অংশের উত্তর according to the mythological stories, phoenix is a fabulous bird that burned itself and rose rejuvenated from its ashes. Here in the story, the phoenix is mentioned to indicate Jimmy Valentine's absurd changing to Ralph D. Spencer. Ralph D. Spencer has been made compared with phoenix. The comparison, 3 number মানে অংশ তৃতীয় অংশ the comparison has been made because like a phoenix bird of mythology, Jimmy Valentine, the criminal and the burglar, died with the touch of love for Annabel Adams and rejuvenated Ralph D. Spencer, the second gentle alias. 2 number প্রশ্ন that child, she can't stand it long in there, who is referred to here, why was in danger, how was she saved? Answer Agatha, a 5-year-old daughter of Miss Annabel's sister is referred here. She was shut inside the vault by May in a spirit of play. She was in danger because she had been shut in the vault, and inside the vault there was not enough air. Besides this she was very small on who should go into convulsion from fright, and the vault could not be opened easily. Ralph D. Spencer, the second alias of the Jimmy Valentine, failing to deny the request of his beloved, had used his past burglary experience to open the vault. He opened flat his burglary tools on the table, seemed to be unconscious of the presence of everyone else, making the presence spellbound. The threw back the bolts and opened the doors in a 10-minute. Agatha, almost collapsed but safe, was gathered into her mother's arm. Question number 3. What did Valentine immediately after his release from the prison? জেল থেকে মুক্তি পাওয়ার পর ভ্যালেন্টাইন অবিলম্বে কি করেছিল? Jimmy Valentine came out of the prison. He walked into the sunshine. Nature outside looked gay and delightful. There were green trees full of sweet smell of flowers. Birds sang all over sweetly. He perfectly felt the first sweet joys of liberty. In the restaurant he ate broiled chicken and drank a bottle of wine to his heart content. Then lighting a cigar, he reached the railway station. Before boarding the train, he dropped a quarter cent into the hat of a blind beggar. After 3 hours of the train journey, he reached the town where his friend Mike Dolan had his cave, had his had had his cafe. Question number 4. What did Jimmy write to his old friend in St. Louis? Why did he write so? জিমি তার সেন্ট লুইয়ে বসবাসকারী পুরনো বন্ধুকে কী লিখেছিল, কেন সে এমন লিখেছিল? অ্যান্সার: Jimmy requested that his friend Billy should remain present at Sullivan's place at 9 p.m. on next Wednesday. He wrote that he wanted to give him his burglar's tool as gift as he had given up his old profession and wanted to lead an honest life. He wrote he was about to marry a beautiful young lady. Perhaps that was the finest girl on earth. The marriage ceremony would be held after 2 weeks from then. Jimmy would sell out all his belongings and settle permanently in the West. He added that he did not want to touch other people's money and felt that this straight life was the real life. Sketch the character of Jimmy Valentine. Jimmy Valentine চরিত্র বর্ণনা করো। Jimmy Valentine is the principal character of O. Henry's short story. Jimmy Valentine, he is a handsome, smart, well-dressed and fashionable young man, but his profession is not so elegant as his appearance, as he is a notorious burglar skilled in his profession. He was arrested in Springfield case and was sentenced 4 years, but the governor had pardoned him and he was released. After released, he resumed his service. The detective Ben Price came in the field and said in his investigation, Jimmy came to Elmore and registered his name as Ralph D. Spencer. He fell in love. He quitted his old business and started a shoe store. He became another man. In a word, Jimmy, through a criminal, is also a great human being whom a policeman Ben Price shows due honor. আচ্ছা, এবার কবিতা থেকে, পোয়েম থেকে যে প্রশ্নগুলো পড়তে হবে, আপন ওয়েস্টমিনিস্টার ব্রিজ থেকে দেখো। হাউ ডাজ দ্য পোয়েট লুক আপন দ্য সান ইন আপন ওয়েস্টমিনিস্টার ব্রিজ? হোয়াট ইজ সো ডিপ অ্যান্ড হোয়াই? কবি কীভাবে সূর্যকে বিবেচনা করেন, কি এত গভীর এবং কেন? In upon Westminster Bridge, the sun appears in the morning stern sky of London City due to smokeless sky. Its grandeur knows no bounds. It drenches everything in light. It radiates the valley, rock or hill, making the morning supremely the brightest in the world. The calmness of the morning of London sky on 3 September 1882 so deep, because the houses are as if in a slumber. The mighty heart of London is also asleep as the hustle bustle of the town life has not been started yet. In such fearful smokeless morning, the poet feels the tranquility of the morning, the flow of the Thames river so deeply. 2 number question. Earth has not anything show more fair. What for such a comparison is made in the poem? Who is described as dull soul and why? এর চেয়ে সুন্দর পৃথিবীর আর দেখানোর কিছু নেই। কবিতায় এ ধরনের তুলনা কেন করা হয়েছে, কাকে বর্ণনা করেছেন নিরস হৃদয়ের এবং কেন? অ্যান্সার: On 31 July 1802, Wordsworth and Dorothy were on the way to France, and while they rest upon Westminster Bridge of London City, they stopped to take in the view over the river Thames in the early morning, the beauty of the morning of London in the clear rays of the sun became so attractive to the poet that he made the comparison. Nothing is more beautiful or fair than this morning scenario of London. তৃতীয় অংশ, the soul of man who can remain unmoved watching the beauty of London in the morning is described as dull soul. Because Wordsworth is a nature over poet, he is captivated by the majestic beauty of the London city in the early morning. So someone who after watching the beauty can remain unaffected and indifferent is described by the poet as a soulless man, a dull man. And all that mighty heart is lying still, whose mighty heart is referred here, bring out the significance of the line. এবং সবে মিলে এ মহতি হৃদয় স্থির হয়ে শুয়ে রয়েছে এখানে। কার মহতি হৃদয়ের কথা বলা হয়েছে? লাইটের গুরুত্ব আলোচনা করো। Heart of London city is referred here. London is personified as a living being with great spirit, full of energy and activity, carried with its mighty heart. The poet William Wordsworth has brought the line of the end of his poem upon Westminster Bridge to show the hustle and hurry activities of London remain quite calm and unknown to the beauty of morning. The poet assumes that London is a living creature and powerful activity. Powerful heart which can carry delicate beauty. Early in the morning the city becomes suffocating and poisonous with the smoke and pollution later in the sky in the day. As it is early is the morning, most of the people of the city are still asleep. Naturally there is no motion and noise that hinders him to enjoy the beauty of the morning. Justify the title of the poem upon Westminster Bridge. Answer: the title is very important aspect of any poem, is often hints the theme of the poem. The title of the poem displays the subject matter of the poem. The poet observed the unusual beauty of the city of London on morning from a set position of the Westminster Bridge. The poet saw the ships, towers, domes, theatres and temples which were appeared silent and beautiful. The sun was shining brightly and all were visible in the smokeless air. The river was flowing in the way. The mention of the Westminster Bridge in the title also makes it clear that he has been describing the city of London. Thus the title is appropriate and meaningful. মিটিং অ্যাট নাইট থেকে যে প্রশ্নগুলো পড়তে হবে, 1 নম্বর প্রশ্ন দেখে নাও। অ্যাজ আই গেইন দ্য কোব উইথ পুশিং প্রো and quench it speed in the slushy sand. From where is the text extracted? Who is the speaker? What does gain the cob mean? এবং what does the expression quench is speed slushy? 3 + 2 5. The text is extracted from Robert Browning love poem Meeting at Night. এবার দ্বিতীয় অংশ দেখো, the lover poet Robert Browning is the speaker of the lines. তৃতীয় অংশ দেখে নাও, the phrase gain the cove means reach to the narrow cave or bay. Here the poet on his boat reaches to a small bay enclosed by wide curve of the shore. The word quench means to satisfy, but here it means slow down. The expression quench it spent suggests that the boat, which has been taken by the poet for his voyage to reach his beloved, slows down its speed because of slushy sand. The journey of boat has ended. He has to cover more path on walk to reach his destination. 2 number question. Why is the sea described as grey in meeting at night? Why is the land described as long black land? মিটিং অ্যাট নাইট কবিতা সমুদ্রকে কেন ধূসর বলা হয়েছে, ভূমিকে কেন লম্বা কালো ভূমি বলা হয়েছে? The poem Meeting at Night describe a journey of lover over the sea and land to meet his beloved. The journey is started when the large half moon glows lowly in yellow color in the sky and cast it yellowish light over the sea water. So the sea naturally seems grey in color. As a result, it seems to poet to describe the sea as grey. Beside this grey color enhances eagerness of poet for so long described meeting and state of mind. Answer the description of the long black land is assumed because the journey is initiated at night. Low grow half moon is not able to make a path and lighted as it night and the path is long, so the land low glow half moon is not able to make the path lighted as it night is. At night journey assumed because the journey is initiated at night. Low glow half moon is not able to make the path lighted as it is night and the path is long, so the land and described as long black. It also suggests the obstacles of the long path to lady love. Question number 3. Justify the title of the poem Meeting at Night. Meeting at Night के नाम करने सार्थकता. Meeting at Night is a love poem which describes the journey of a lover to meet his lady love and his ultimate meeting with lady love. The lover is known on to meeting is keen. The lover is keen on meeting his beloved. Keen মানে হচ্ছে আগ্রহী বা উৎসাহী. Beloved on a moonlight night. The lover has crossed the grey sea and the long black land. It is a night and the yellow half moon is large. The lover cross a mile of warm sea-scented beach and 3 falls to reach at a farm. The long cherished meeting between the two is completed. The title Meeting at Night quite competently hints at this central theme of meeting between the lovers. The word night in the title also hints at the secrecy of lovers meeting. Question দেখো ডে ব্রেক থেকে যে কোশ্চেনগুলো পড়তে হবে. What role does the wind play in the announcing the beginning of the day? How is the final couplet different from the rest of the poem? দিনের শুরুতে বাতাসের ভূমিকা কী রয়েছে? কবিতার শেষের 2 লাইন অন্য লাইনের থেকে আলাদা কিভাবে? Answer. The poet Henry Wadsworth Longfellow described the activities of the sea wind with the advent of the daybreak in his poem Daybreak. At outset of a day, the sun lightens the darkness and makes every object and earth visible and glorious. Here the sea wind is playing the role of the messenger of awakening to the other objects of nature and the human world. The final couplet of the poem Daybreak is the different in turn. It says the traditional Christian belief the sea wind here does not disturb the rest of the church yet buried dead. With a sign, the wind crossed churches and urged them to enjoy everlasting quiet sleep as day of judgment does come yet. To narrate the wind's activities as presented in the poem Daybreak, or write the substance of the poem Daybreak বায়ুর কার্যকলাপ বর্ণনা করো যেমনটি কবিতায় বলা হয়েছে The poem Daybreak by Henry Wadsworth Longfellow described the activities of the wind at outset of a day. The wind first came out of the sea and started his journey as a messenger. At dawn, the wind requested the mist to make room for him so that he carry his work of awakening. It greeted the ship's sailor and urged to start their journey as the night is gone away. It then hurried to landward and forest, requesting them to hang their leafy banner in welcome of dawn. It crossed awakening the forest birds, the chanticleer and the fields of corn. It shouted through the belfry towers to awaken and announce the daybreak. It crossed the churchyard, leaving a sigh for a dead and addressed them to lie quietly as the time of the resurrection has not come yet. বন্ধুরা তাহলে কোশ্চেনটা আরেকবার তোমরা দেখে নাও narrate the wind's activities and presented the poem Daybreak or write the substance of the poem Daybreak বায়ুর কার্যকলাপ বর্ণনা করে যেমনটি কবিতায় বলা হয়েছে দেখো সাবস্ট্যান্স রাইট দ্য সাবস্ট্যান্স মানে সার সংক্ষেপটা লিখতে হবে তাহলে তোমরা 2 নম্বর প্রশ্নের উত্তরটাও দেখে নিলে এবার 3 নম্বর প্রশ্ন who takes the responsibility of the announcing of the breaking of the day how is the feat achieved দিন শুরু হওয়ার ঘোষণার দায়িত্ব কে নিয়েছে এই কাজটি কীভাবে সম্পাদিত হয়েছে In Henry Wadsworth Longfellow poem Daybreak the spirited joyful sea and takes the responsibility of announcing the breaking of day. The wind through its voluntary activities goes around every nook and corner to pass on the message of breaking of a new dawn. A new day brings hope and joy for everyone. The wind speaks, hails, whispers, shouts, and sighs like a human being. It appeals all element forces of nature to wake up. For the day's work, without their activities, the glorious realm of the morning cannot be released. The sea wind thus urges all the components of nature except the dead, the wake up to new hope and action and to join the procession of a celestial glory of a new day. বন্ধুরা ভিডিওটি ভালো লাগলে অবশ্যই লাইক কমেন্ট শেয়ার করুন থ্যাংক ইউ ভেরি মাচ কিপ ওয়াচিং মাই চ্যানেল অ্যান্ড মাই ভিডিও